Humans are highly intellectual. How? We have a well developed brain. The brain is divided into three main parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. What is forebrain? The forebrain is covered of cerebrum and diencephalon. The latter consists of a dorsal thalamus and ventral hypothalamus. Children, look at the diagram. Now I am going to explain you about the cerebrum. What is cerebrum? It is the largest portion forming nearly 2/3 of the brain. The cerebrum is longitudinally divided into two halves at right and left cerebral hemispheres by a deep cleft called as a median cleft. Two cerebral hemispheres are interconnected by a thick band of nerve fibers called corpus callosum. The outer portion of each cerebral hemisphere is formed of grey matter and is called as a cerebral cortex. The inner or deeper part is formed of white matter and is called as a cerebral medulla. The cortex is extremely folding from elevations called gyri with depressions between them termed as a sulci that increase its inner surface area. Each cerebral hemisphere is divided into a frontal lobe, a parietal lobe, and a temporal lobe, and an occipital lobe. These lobes are also known as cerebral lobes and are associated with specific functions. Any damage in specific lobe in turn affects its function. The main part, the cerebrum, is responsible for the thinking, intelligence, consciousness, memory, imagination, reasoning, and willpower. Look at the diagram. This is thalamus. The thalamus, present in cerebral medulla, is a major conducting center for sensory and motor signaling. It acts as a relay center. Now, look at the hypothalamus. It lies at the base of a thalamus. It controls involuntary functions like hunger, thirst, sleep, sweating, sexual desire, anger, fear, water balance, blood pressure. It acts as a thermoregulatory center of the body. It controls the secretion of hormones from anterior pituitary gland and its important link between nervous system and an endocrine system. Now we are going to learn about the midbrain. It is located between thalamus and hindbrain. The dorsal portion of the midbrain consists of four rounded bodies called corpora quadrigemina that controls the visual and auditory reflexes. Hindbrain, it formed of three parts: cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. We are going to learn about the cerebellum. Look at the diagram. It is the second largest part of the brain, formed of two large size hemispheres and middle vermis. It coordinates voluntary movements and also maintains body balance. Now, what is pons? Pons is a Latin word meaning bridge, a bridge of nerve fibers that connects the lobes of the cerebellum. It relays signals between the cerebellum, spinal cord, midbrain, and cerebrum. It controls respiration and sleep cycle. Now, coming to the medulla oblongata. What is medulla oblongata? Medulla oblongata is a posterior most part of the brain that connects spinal cord and various parts of the brain. It has cardiac centers, respiratory centers, vasomotor centers to control heartbeat, respiration, and contraction of blood vessels respectively. It also regulates vomiting and salivation. Now we are going to learn about the functions of brain. Look at the table. Structure, functions. Cerebral cortex, sensory perception, control of voluntary functions, language, thinking, memory, decision making, creativity. Thalamus, act as relay station. Hypothalamus, temperature control, thirst, hunger, urination, important link between nervous system and endocrine glands. Cerebellum, maintenance of posture, and balance, coordinate voluntary muscle activity. Pons and medulla, role in sleep, cardiovascular, respiratory and digestive control centers. How to nourish your brain? This is the right time for you children to nourish your brain. The most crucial molecules that determine our brain's integrity and the ability are essential fatty acids. EFA. The EFA cannot be synthesized and must be obtained from food like fish, green leafy vegetables, almond, walnut are the rich source of EFA.